Welcome to Freed on Business. He grew up in South Florida, has been in business here since the early 90s, and has closed over $3 billion in deals. He's seen it all. He always has an opinion, and he's always ready to share it. Informed, entertaining, and connected, he has his finger on the pulse of South Florida's business community. He's Jim Freed, and this is Freed on Business.
It sure is, and we've got a great show for you today. We've got our annual visit with the Silver Knight Award winners. They're just the most tremendous people in the world, young people that have achieved. Some of my doctors have been Silver Knight Award winners. Some of my friends in business community have been Silver Knight Award winners. The Miami Herald goes around and picks out some of the best people in our community. They just happen to be young, but boy, are they forward-looking. So we're going to have them on. We're going to have Juan and Leandra, who's going to keep making sure I say her name right, because I'll probably get it wrong. Notice how she's got the halo thing going there. Juan has the best smile in Miami, I think. So we're going to be on talking to them, and then we're going to have Manny Johnson on. We're going to talk about my hemp farm. That's right. I lead in forward thinking on agriculture. So we're going to have a great show with great positive energy. Woo! I cannot wait. So Reagan, take it away. We'll be right back with Juan and Leandra. And let me tell you, you have got to hear their stories. Juan is actually somewhat similar to mine. We'll see why in a minute. Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. I want to remind you all that we're South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2008, and since 2012, I've been using the same piece of paper, as you can plainly see. Since 2012, Warren Henry's been my sponsor. It's a good luck charm. Come on. So when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. You guys come up there. We're going to go on some test drives. They have really great cars. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne. In Gainesville, they sell Audis and the Keys. They've got them all. My college roommate's vacationing in the Keys today. Hey, Smack, how are you? What do they all have in common? Well, they all come with the Warren Henry Advantage, and they're all great cars, too. What's the Warren Henry Advantage? It's this whole list of things that I keep reading every week, and I'm sure you all know it better than I do now. It's a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and my favorite, the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 full days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, and lots of my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be, too. Always the best price, always the best service, always Warren Henry. Boy, that commercial's never been more appropriate than today when we've got our beautiful Silver Knight Award winners on. Hey, everybody, give me a call. I can't say my number anymore because we'll talk about that on another episode. Suffice it to say, the FDLE was here Thursday night making sure I was still alive. So, oh yeah, got a death threat. So give me a call if I can help you with real estate. I put my friends together. It's so great. Today I was going, hey, wait, yo does that. Woo! And my friends saw it happen right real live on the phone. So you need equity, you need debt, you need creative thought, you need a solution, you need to call me. Can't give you the number, so just direct message me. I'm Jim Freed, and I solve your problems. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Before I forget, I want to thank Lisa Paley for putting this together. She does it for me every year. I want to thank the Miami Herald for recognizing all of the young a select group of our top students here in Dade and Broward counties, and I'm always excited to meet them here in person. Today we've got Juan Tejera. Did I say the last name right, Juan?
Yep, that is correct.
Oh, high five to me. And we've got Leandra Hall. Did I say the last name right with you, Leandra? That's a joke. Of course I did.
It's Leandra still, but yeah, you got me.
Oh my God, Leandra.
Yep.
Keep correcting me. And by the way, I love the halo. Okay, let's start with Juan. Juan, do you know what you have in common with me?
I actually do not.
What did you do?
Well, my project is a partnership with Be The Match, which is the largest bone marrow registry in the world. My mom is a 2-time non-Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor. And the second time she got matched through a donor. And when I met the donor about a year or two later, I was inspired to really, push it forward because my mom always said, you haven't lived until you haven't done something for someone that you can never pay them back for. So the only way to go about is pay it forward. So I decided to become an advocate for Be The Match and recruit students above the age of 18 and adults to be part of the organization and really be potential donors, potentially save a life. And that's really what the project is. And I guess somewhere
light your mic up and tell him what he has in common with me.
Jim did a very similar thing for his wife.
You got to Google Vivian Freed kidney and Miami. What happened is that my wife needed a kidney transplant. And I used Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram to try to find her a kidney match. You know what finally brought it home? Craigslist.
Wow.
Right. So you Google Vivian Freed kidney in Miami, and you can see that happen when she meets her donor. So Juan, when I say I love you, I'm not kidding. Okay? I know what you do. And the most important thing is a good deed that you can do for somebody that you'll never meet. No higher form exists. You're such a mensch. You know what that is? It's a guy who it's his bar mitzvah and they pinch the cheek until it turns blue. You're so terrific. Where are you going to go to college?
I will be attending the University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, look at you, UPenn. Woo! What are you going to study up there?
Undecided. I still, yesterday, they sent out all the forms with all the majors and all the options, and I'm still...
Don't go to the dark side. Don't go to business. Do something that's kind and generous.
I'm not in Wharton. I'm in the College of Arts and Science. So I'll see what I end up doing.
Wharton will still come find you. Once they found you, they'll come looking for you. You're in arts and sciences. I subscribe to the Wharton business letter, even though I didn't go there. I love this stuff. And I've been to the UPenn campus in Philadelphia. I don't want to say beautiful, but at least it's there in Philadelphia, which I refer to as Philadelphia, but that's another story. Look at him smiling. Juan, thank you so much for giving us the heads up, but don't go away, okay? I want to talk now to Leandra. Leandra. She's going to break my chops the whole way through, but I don't mind because I deserve it. Now, Leandra, you are tremendous. How long have you been a Girl Scout?
12 years.
Wow. And what was your project?
My project is called Afrotechie, and its goal is to democratize access to STEM regardless of socioeconomic race. You froze. Sorry. Try again. That was cute because it happened just when you were talking about it. Okay, I'll say it again. My project is called Afrotechie, and its goal is to democratize access to STEM regardless of socioeconomic background or race. I think that is absolutely tremendous. One of my favorite shows on TV is BattleBots, just for the record. You like that, huh? Yeah, have you made a robot? Unfortunately, no, a robot like that. But hopefully, that's one of the things on my bucket list to have a robot to compete on BattleBots. Oh, look at that. I love these people. They're so tremendous. So let me ask you this. First of all, where are you going to go to college? I'm going to Spelman College in Atlanta. Oh, my gosh. First of all, congratulations. And DM me offline because I have a friend who directly supports individual students of color at historically Black colleges and universities. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know from Spelman. Come on. You think I'm just one-dimensional here? I'm so proud of you.
Okay, so now here we are. And what I would like to do now is I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. Juan, if you were going to say something to an incoming freshman at your school, what would you say to them? Incoming high school freshman.
Incoming high school freshman. Wow, that's a little broad, but the first thing I tell them is find something you love to do, because something that I really, because my school starts in middle school, and I want to say 4 years without really doing things I loved. And it was around late 10th grade where I discovered this love for journalism, specifically sports journalism. So the past 2 years, I've been the sports commentator for the soccer and the baseball games. I had my own fantasy football show. And that's something like I would start the day, and that's something that you look forward to from the beginning of the day till 3 p.m. when you get out and you're going to do something. That's, if you can find something that motivates you throughout the day and throughout your week, then you're doing it right. And I think that's something that if you can find early on and you can just hit that, then I think you're set for a lot of other things.
Well, I like that. Boy, Juan, I got a lot of things I like about you. Now, who would you want to interview if you could pick anybody?
Anybody in the world?
Yeah, alive. Because I don't think the interview with the dead person is going to go too good.
Wow.
You're up next, Hall. You better be thinking.
Anybody in the world?
Yeah, who do you want to interview? Do I have to come back to you?
I want to
take a minute. It doesn't have to be sports, but we're going to go to Hall, and then we'll come back to you.
Okay, we'll go to Hall.
Okay? No, because you're a thoughtful dude. You don't want to give it off the cuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Leandra?
Yes, you got it right.
Other than me, who would you want to interview? No, I'm just kidding. So, Leandra, we talked about that you want to invent a battle bot, okay? But that's short term. Long term, what would you really like to do to leave your imprint on the world? Oh, awesome.
For me, I've always been fascinated with the intersection of STEM and the arts, because so many people think that these two things are sort of binary fields and that they don't necessarily intertwine, but they are so interconnected in so many different ways. And so for me, I would love to work in somewhere in between those two fields. So whether it's working on doing programmable art exhibits or finding out new ways to design cars, it's just, I would love to be in that intersection to me.
I have a friend of mine that's a tech entrepreneur here in town in the property technology field. Would you want to meet her?
Sure, of course. I'm always down to meet new people.
Okay, her name is Olivia Ramos. Okay, I want you to meet Olivia Ramos. She used to work for DARPA. How much more do I have to say?
Not much. You got me.
Yeah, you like that one. You like that one, right? So what would you like to invent? You see, Juan, you missed your turn. We'll be right back at Juan, though. What would you like to invent?
Oh, wow. But again, that's such a broad question.
I don't care. You're expansive. You're a brilliant, kind person. What would you like to invent? And I'll tell you my answer to both.
For me, I would love to invent. You know what I would like to invent?
Tell me, miss.
I know you want to know. I know you want to know. Yeah, I would love to create a 3D sort of art exhibit for me.
Perfect.
Virtual, physical. I want to create something that but it's holographic. I think it's holographic for me, a holographic art exhibit, because I'm an artist and I love to draw, but I also have computer science as like my second love. So that'd be like the perfect way to intertwine the two.
Person I want to introduce you to is my friend, Dave Lombardi. Dave Lombardi basically founded Wynwood and its art scene. I'm sure that if there's an artist whose work that and I also want you to meet my friend, Steve Malonis. Okay, Steve is a multimedia artist who has an art studio in Little River. How about that? And we'll go further too when you want to DM me some other things. She froze. Sorry. Oh, Leandra, re-sign on or something because you really froze and you're tremendous. Juan, you're still here, right?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So did you figure out who you want to interview yet?
Yeah.
Hold on. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back.
All right.
All right. We're going to take a break with Juan. Well, Leandra will hopefully recycle and we'll be back after this because I can't tell you. I can't make this stuff up. These are some of the most wonderful people I've met in a long time. Reagan, rock the house. All right, this is where I talk about everybody being South Florida's longest running business talk show, which is true. I want to talk about the fact that Warren Henry's been our sponsor since 2012, which is true. We obviously sell a whole bunch of cars for them, and we're about to sell one more to my beautiful wife, Vivian. We'll be going up there this week and getting Vivian her next car. I just love those Warren Henry machines. They're just smoking good. When you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar up at 151st and Biscayne in their new store. Hey to Main Stark, my service provider. And they've got a great store up in Gainesville where they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got them all. I may go down there and get a big Jeep. I'm kind of liking those Jeeps. No matter which car you buy, they are all great cars. They all come with the Warren Henry Advantage. The Warren Henry Advantage means a whole bunch of different things. What it really means is that you're part of the Warren Henry family. They give you the complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection. That means they'll polish up those wheel scratches. Key replacement, I use that. You know how much it costs to replace those fancy keys? Guaranteed purchase offer so you can make your deal. Best value guarantee so your deal is good. And the 72-hour exchange in case you don't like your car, but you will. So join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian. I'm so in love with her. Juan, you got to look that up to see what happened. And all my friends, we're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry.
Hey, this is Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. You know, a lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
She is great. She helps me stay looking good. We're working with her on a bunch of real estate up in Chicago. Rebecca Carlson is top of the line. And guess what? It's been like 3 or 4 years. I still haven't met her in person. It's great. That's right. You don't need to meet in person to do good things. But give me a call at 3:00. Oh, I almost said my phone number. I'm not supposed to do that according to the FDLE. They told me not to do that anymore. So DM me, Jim Freed. You can find me virtually everywhere everybody named Jim Freed hates because they're all on page 4 of Google. Why would you do that? Because I can help you execute your real estate deal. You go, Jim, how would you do that? I have debt. I have equity. I have pref equity. I have mezz. I have smart people. I have smarter people. I have operators. I'm even going to the development business today myself. Why? Because I know how to do it. I know who to call and how to get it done. If you need a solution to your real estate problem as the market continues to evolve, call me. You're probably working on something new with some new people or need something new. Call me. I can bring that to the table. Why give me a call? Because when you call me, it is always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back. We're back with the Silver Knight Award winners. They come on every year and make me look dumb because they're so smart. We've got Juan Tejera on. Juan helped his mom find a donor match, something I have in common with him. And we're on with Leandra Hall. How'd I do?
Leandra Hall.
Leandra, I never get that right. I'm going to let Juan introduce you next time. And she, besides breaking my chops all day long, she wants to do robotics, have a battle bot. She's my kind of lady. She's going to solve the problems of the world with technology. I'm going to introduce her to the multimedia artists and techno people I know. She is tremendous. Juan, we're still trying to figure out who Juan wants to interview because he's a journalism dude. Juan, who is it?
So I thought of two answers. So
okay.
One more regarding like my interest in sports journalism, and one my background as a Venezuelan immigrant. Mm-hmm. So the first one would be Stephen A. Smith, because he's really, like, right now, arguably the most successful sports journalist. But if you look back, he started at Winston-Salem University in North Carolina, and that guy just shows that he's about the grind, and that he started from the lowest of lows, and right now earning millions of dollars a year with his own show. And maybe just talk to him about making it to the top and what it takes and what it's like. And that would be for the sports aspect. But the other one would be Nicolás Maduro, because I think I would like kind of like for people to see the kind of person he really is, because I feel like not often do people really get to. He's done like one interview a year for the last 3 years, I think, or something like that. And they're all like 3-minute interviews that get super censored. And I just would like an opportunity to take some shots at him.
Well, that's fair enough. Good luck. That's a good one. I bet you actually, if you sent them an email, you might get a chance to interview them, although it would get really censored. You know, I think that's a really good thing. Stephen A. Smith, I think that's a great idea, a great person to take a look at. He's obviously created a brand for himself, you know, I think that's great. Now, Miss Hall, notice how I avoided it that time. Miss Hall, tell me what you want to tell people that are older than 30. What do they need to know about the younger generation?
I think that what older people need to know is that we're just like you, except the world is a bit different now. Things are a lot harder for people like us. And so we have to fight twice as hard to get half of what you probably were able to earn and achieve. And so because of that, we need your help. We need the advice. We need the knowledge and the tool set to do the things that you've been doing. And I think that if we just work together, instead of having the whole generational rift of Gen Z versus millennial versus boomer, that shouldn't happen anymore. We need to come together to help our planet, help ourselves, and help our community.
Oh my God. Oh, you're just so tremendous. I agree with you completely. The thing that really frustrates me about today is that just 10 years ago, nobody would know what the other person's political affiliation or religion was. No one cared. Didn't make a difference until somebody started everybody fighting against each other. Now there's people that want Juan to think one way. They'll tell him that so-and-so is a communist. They'll tell him, somebody else will say, no, I'm not, I'm this. You know, somebody will say, I'm for this, I'm for that. You know what the real answer is? The real answer is the big C word, compromise. That's what we're designed for. We shouldn't be run by a far thing on one side or the other. The reality is we all want to be together and we all want the same things. Now, there's limited resources, so people compete and they fight. I deal with it all day long when people try to manipulate the real estate commissions that I am supposed to earn. Wasn't I a nice guy, Reagan? Manny, you know I was a nice guy. By the way, the other person that's hiding is Manny Johnson. Can we bring Manny on?
Manny's on. Manny's on the phone. He called in. He's not video.
That's fine. Unmute him. Manny Johnson is one of the most amazing people I know. Manny is a third-generation farmer, and he took life into his own hands. First, he went to the U.S. Military Academy. Then he became a filmmaker. Now he and I are partnering in a hemp business where we're going to bring products to the world that it needs. Safe and thoughtful things to help people live better lives. That's what we want to do. Manny, isn't that what your business model thing is that you talk about at the top, your mantra?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate people as to what, what can happen when you have a plant that the entire plant can be used from beginning to end, and you can make medicines, you can make houses out of it, you can make a plastic substitute, you can revolutionize kind of the way a lot of things are being done, and that's kind of what we were talking about here earlier is knowledge and information. I mean, it's taken me probably 30 years to get to the point where I could understand how to do this, and then to get all the other people involved in this. They're all, 30-year scientists or doctors. And, the young lady mentioned, sharing experience and knowledge. That's what everything is. Everything in life is doing that.
That's right. See, I wanted to put you on with one of the kindest, most gentle people I know. My friend Manny Johnson, the warrior. Yeah, our government sent Manny Johnson to war too. We won't talk about that, okay? We're going to talk about Manny Johnson came back to bring love and kindness to the world. That's why I wanted the two of you to hear him, okay? What Manny and I are doing isn't really for us. It's to make the world a better place for you. The hempcrete takes a lot less electric, so it makes a lot less pollution. Our farm is going to be fully sustainable. By the way, you can stay on and hear Manny and I talk if you want. You don't have to get off, okay? It's going to be a farm in South Florida. Climate change has created such a change that you can't grow the red peppers your mom wants to buy in Homestead anymore. They get too soft. You got to grow them up north now. And that's really happening. So your input, Juan, and I'm going to try again, Leandra?
Yep, that's right. You got it.
High five. It only took me a half hour. It's really about you. It's not really about us. When I say that when you call me, it's always all about you. My personal brand is that I self-actualize by helping other people achieve their dreams and goals. That's what I want to do for you and your friends. Okay, you've earned your way into my clubhouse. Ms. Hall, I told you what you can send me an email or DM me. You can get the information from Ms. Paley. Juan, good luck to you, bro. If you want to interview anybody I know, just call me. I'll make sure they meet you. Come up with a wish list. I bet you could get to anybody in town. How do I know? Because I can make it happen. All right. Maybe you want to interview my niece, Nikki Freed. Find out what the future is going to look like. Maybe the two of you want to do that. I could set that up through her general press people, not getting a special privilege. Why? Because she's running because of you. Okay? This is where I say God bless you and God bless the United States of America and God bless the state of Florida. But instead, it's only the half part of the show. So I'm going to say, stick with us. We're going to have great stuff. Manny and I are going to talk about where we are in our hemp farm, which is really a vertically integrated CBD business to bring goodness and kindness to the world. Ms. Hall and Mr. DeHara can stay if they want, or they can go do whatever it is they want. But in any event, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and Reagan will make sure of that. Reagan, rock it. This is where I go. This is Freedom Business. We're South Florida's longest running business talk show, but today we were all about feeling good. I showed you that the future is bright, that some of our leaders of today are already here. You saw Juan and you saw Ms. Hall. I'm not going to do it again because she'd have to correct me, and it's commercial time now. And by the way, Our friends at Warren Henry, they're very involved in the community too. They focus on sports leaders. Warren meets them. He talks to all the finalists. If you wanted to meet Warren Henry, Warren Henry's in. I could probably make that happen too, because he's all about making a positive impact on the community. So when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can, and you want to team up with people like that. That's why I team up with Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar, all up in 151st and Biscayne. Audi, that's in Gainesville. Key West, they got all kinds of cars down there. What do they have in common? Well, they're all great cars, and they all come with the Warren Henry advantage. That means you get all these great services. I can't ever remember them. There's so many. That's why I got to read them off the paper and awkwardly put it in front of me every time. You get a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee. You also get the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 days to make sure you like your car. Guess what? You will. Join me, my mom, my wife. I love her, man. We've gone through so much together. And of course, all my friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry. You know, that whole ad is about a woman I know up in Tallahassee. It's just amazing. Listen, everybody, give me a call. I can help on a variety of things, everything from agriculture and government affairs to really commercial real estate and resi. That's my thing. Why? Because when you call me, it's all about you. That's not a tagline, and I can't give out my phone number anymore, and I can't give out my email anymore because I got attacked. But I will tell you this. You can always reach me. You know how. You'll find me. Google me, Jim Freed. All the other Jim Freeds hate me. They're on page 4. But when you call me, my focus is really about you. You can see it when I'm talking to the young leaders here. You'll hear it when we're talking to Manny Johnson. You'll hear it if you give me a call about commercial real estate, pref equity, mezz equity, debt, stretch construction loans. I've got it all. I just did a $90 million perm on a bunch of inventory down at the 1000 Museum. So give me a call. Can't say the number, but please reach out. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
All right, we're back, and looks like the two students just cut out on us, but that's okay. We're on with Manny Johnson, and Manny and I are going to talk about the update on the hemp farm, which is really a vertically integrated CBD business. Manny, welcome back to the show.
Well, Jim, thanks for having me back on the show. It's always wonderful to try to help other people and help them understand what can be done with some of the plant medicines in the world instead of using pharmacology.
Well, stop right there, because you talk about plant medicines and, things like aspirin comes from the willow, for instance. So you've brought together a team. Tell me a little bit about your team and why they've come together.
Well, I've worked in the cannabis industry. I got into I worked in the cannabis industry since it became legal. And cannabis is marijuana and hemp. We started out with the marijuana, and we were just using oils and low THC products. And we were using it for seizure disorders and post-traumatic stress, things of the, neuroprotective abilities and antioxidants. And I got together working on licenses in different states, and I would do that for groups of investors that wanted them. So I had unlimited resources to get the best people in the world in each area. And so I started off, I'm a third-generation farmer, and I said, okay, well, if we start, we're going to start with a seed, and we're going to end up with a product. Okay, and I wanted to get the best PhD level person in the world in each one of those areas, which would be the seed, taking the seed and making it into a tissue culture clone, which is an exact DNA duplicate of the plant, so that you can plant an entire crop and it all be the exact same chemical composition, so you're going to get the same CBD, THC ratio out of each plant. Plus, it's going to be the same height and width, so you can harvest it more effectively. So you go from there into the processing, the extraction methods, using the safest for human consumption, purest for human consumption. So you're not creating a poison. Because I found that so many of these cultivators were using landscape plant pesticides. And I even had a discussion last night with a couple of departments of agriculture for different states, and they're still using the same garbage. So, the consumer beware. Demand that the product that you get be safe. And, we put together a team that goes through every part of this process, down to designing a nutraceutical with a University of Miami Medical School professor, with a science professor that's got 35 years of retired professor emeritus in organic chemistry. He does all of the molecular discoveries of us, and there's, when we first started with this quote unquote cannabis plant, there was probably about 40 cannabinoids in one form of THC. Now there's 10 forms of THC at least, and there's 144 different cannabinoids. And if you really look at it closely as a scientist, you'll find that that's really only taking up half of what the molecular composition of the extracts that they get. So we're going to find a lot of other things in this plant.
Now, Manny, I was on the other day speaking to an economic development official from Palm Beach County, and they were telling me that they're very excited about having hemp come to the treasure coast, that they call it up there. And she mentioned that one of the things holding them back, well, there were a couple. One was that there was no place for them to take the hemp to make it into things. And the other was that they didn't know how to make sure that the hemp they were growing would be legal under state regulations. What steps are you and our team taking about that?
Well, we have one of the products that we have that we got the rights to is a product that the farmer can use for testing all along, to test his crop so that it doesn't get what quote unquote hot over 1% THC.
So we'll be able to help them monitor that then. That'll be one of our business.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then our business model calls for, the best of the best analytical and testing equipment that's available in the world to test for this. So we'll be testing continuously, trying to improve our products and trying to guide people into using certain products that will help them. And in terms of making doing the processing, we're loaded on the end of processing. We're loaded with cultivation and we're loaded with processing, equipment and facilities and knowledge, some of the best PhDs in the world in those areas. And we're loaded with that because we know that's where the issues are. And we want to be able to solve the issues.
Now, Manny, a lot of people are entering the business. They're doing it without a lot of education. What would you say would be a good place for them to go take a look, obviously, before we get our start, and then they can start looking at what we're doing?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I mean, I was doing seminars a year ago at different states, and we would have the not only the USDA, but we would have the universities from those different states come to the seminars, and they knew absolutely nothing about hemp. They had no clue because hemp was illegal until the Farm Bill of 2018. And so the universities would tell them, hey, stay away from anything with hemp, because we don't want to lose any of our federal funding for the entire university. So that fear kept them away from any type of knowledge. And so, they were starting out with really no knowledge. And, they've done some, what they call, a lot of hemp states are doing what they call hemp testing sites and hemp projects to, learn how to grow this plant better. Whereas, our group was growing it our main grower has been growing it since 1979 in Canada. He was from a missionary family on an Indian tribe. And we also just recently, in 2012, we were growing it in Austria and Hungary. So we've had a lot of experience with this because there wasn't the negative stigma attached to the hemp plant. Which, by the way, we have a report that Jim has a copy of that. There's a hemp house there, and that entire house is made out of hemp. So you can do the largest manufacturers of hemp in Germany are BMW and Audi, and they're doing it to replace the plastic parts of their cars.
Well, I want to take a short break here, and then I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more about the business, what kind of products can be made, and why the numbers are so ridiculously big in this industry. Manny, can you please stick with me for one more segment?
Of course.
Thank you so much, my dear friend. Reagan, let's rock the world. Everybody, I want to remind you that this is South Florida's longest running business talk show. We've been on since 2008. Since 2012, Warren Henry's been our sponsors. They're tremendous. They treat us like family, just like they'll treat you like family. Remember, when you're looking to buy or lease a car, you want to get every advantage that you can. That's why you have to check out Warren Henry. Land Rover, Range Rover, Infiniti, and Jaguar, they're all exceptional cars, and they all come with a Warren Henry advantage. Up in Gainesville, they sell Audis. Down in the Keys, they've got them all. That Warren Henry advantage that they come with, well, that's a suite of services that you get when you buy your car. You get a complimentary service loaner, dynamic wheel protection, key replacement, guaranteed purchase offer, best value guarantee, and the Warren Henry and the 72-hour exchange. You can take 3 full days to make sure you like your Warren Henry vehicle. They will. You will. I promise. Join me, my mom, my beautiful wife, Vivian, and lots of our friends. We're all members of the Warren Henry family. You should be too. Always the best service, always the best price, always Warren Henry.
Carlson from Carlson Integrated. A lot of our clients find that they can do anything, but not really everything. We are always excited to jump in and help. So whether you need another set of hands for a project or even comprehensive marketing management, our team of marketing mavens would love to have a conversation with you to see if we are the right fit. We do everything from logo and design work to email outreach and social media to writing and thought leadership. And here's a fun one. We are now offering our fabulous ebook of top 10 marketing tips on our website for free. So head over to carlsonintegrated.com and grab a copy today. And please always Let us know how we can help. My email is Becca, that's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com. That's BEKAH at carlsonintegrated.com.
Hi, and I'm Jim Freed. You can reach me on my website or just Google Jim Freed and you'll find me. I'm not allowed to give my phone number out anymore because, well, somebody cyber attacked me. Anyway, call me, because when you call me, it's always all about you. Why is it always all about you? Because that's the way the world should work. Give me a call. I can help you with commercial real estate, residential real estate. I just did a loan for one of my clients' kids to help them buy a house. I also did a $8-9 million mezz loan on a healthcare facility, and I recently did an $80 million condo inventory loan. If you call me, I can get it financed for you. And now I'm going to help finance our hemp farm. I can get it done if it makes sense. Give me a call or DM me, Jim Freed. Why? Because when you call me, it's always all about you.
Welcome back to Freed on Business. Connect with us on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at Jim Freed or at Freed on Business, and on Instagram at Jim Freed1. Now, back to your host, Jim Freed.
Back with Manny Johnson. Manny's my partner. Manny is an entrepreneur in the cannabis and hemp space, and Manny is perhaps the number one expert on hemp in the state of Florida. Welcome back to the show, Manny. I want to talk to you, Manny, a little bit about a couple of different things. You've decided to put the farm in the Treasure Coast area of the Jupiter area up by Lake Okeechobee. Why did you pick that? And what type of hemp are you growing there? Is it the same as hemp in Colorado?
Well, no, you can't grow any type of. I mean, hemp is a very geographically based plant, meaning if you can grow a hemp and you'll get the same types of oils and same types of textiles and things of that nature. But the deal is you got to use different strains in different areas. And people are still experimenting with that because, like I said, there's only, Florida's having their second crop this year. Okay, so you have to find out the strains that'll work in that area. The reason we're using Indiantown is we had the University of Florida do a study for us to determine the best place in the United States to grow plants, to grow hemp, and they came back with the area near Lake Okeechobee, which is like Martin County, and Indiantown is in Martin County. And the reason we did that is because the climate is virtually perfect. You get whereas you've got almost perfect climate. You've got the humidity from Lake Okeechobee adds to the protection in the winter and the protection in the summer for excessive heat and cooling. And then you've got some of the most fertile land in the world. I mean, there's some of the largest vegetable growers have been using them, have grown in that area for probably 20, 25 years, maybe even longer. And the beauty of it is it doesn't have that, we can get around 3 crops a year. Okay, if you grow it even in the Apopka area near Orlando, you're only going to get 2. If you grow it south of us, you're only going to get 2. And of course, you're going to run into a whole plethora of problems in all these areas because you start getting around high humidity, which South Florida is high humidity, high heat. You run into a tremendous amount of insect problems. And so, it's the perfect place to grow it. And we have an organic grower who is one of the best in the world. So we have been very, very blessed in putting this team together. I don't think there's anyone else that we should add to it. And if there was, I would add them.
So, Manny, then let's say that you come up and your team goes up there and they start experimenting with the hemp varieties and they come up with something that's new. Is that something they can patent and protect and make money on?
Well, that's the whole point. The whole point is to start off like we'd mentioned earlier with, you start off with seeds and you make like a tissue culture clone from that seed, because like a seed is a family member. You know, your brother might be taller than you. He might weigh differently. His hair color will be different. Your sister might look completely different, because those are like seeds. They're like families. Okay. And tissue cultures are exact DNA duplicates. So it's like you get exactly the same thing every time. So think about it. You've just gotten your first part of tissue culture is your first part of intellectual property. And you can design your hemp products, not only for yourself, the tissue culture, but you can grow the tissue culture plants and sell them all over the country, specifically for that particular region in the country.
Wow.
So yes, I mean, everywhere you start, I mean, and I was just using that as an example. You design a nutraceutical that can help people sleep at night, it'll be sold all over the world. And
now,
that is intellectual property that you can patent.
Now, so you've got the intellectual property, you've got processing and making of oils. What's your third pillar?
Sales and marketing. Sales and marketing are really, really important.
Okay.
To have, to have a solid market for it. But, the idea of having proprietary extraction techniques so that you're extracting it with oil, with products that are going to make it safe for human consumption, and you're not using any type of, a toxic agent to extract and process the oil, which most places are just not doing that. Most people, or most companies, just go out and buy an extraction machine, and you go and take the 6-day course, and you come back and start using it. Okay, well, I mean, our scientists do this in what they call clean rooms, where the temperature is 62 degrees, it's 50% humidity the whole time, and you've got people that are wearing gowns and gloves and booties so that everything remains sterile. We're just doing it different. We're doing it like anything for human consumption should be done, especially if you're going to call it a safe for human consumption.
So, Manny, people go out, they go to the store, they buy these CBD bottles in their hair salon or at the, I don't know wherever they buy them. I buy them in the dispensary, so I believe that they're at least somewhat supervised. But the CBD you can just buy on the street or in the CBD store or the smoke shop. How pure and good is that, and how authentic is it?
Well, I mean, just, a couple of things I can tell you, a couple of anecdotal studies are that 87% of all medical marijuana that has been tested by doctors from the Journal of the American Medical Association have failed the testing. And that's in different states. It's not just in one. It's in different states where they went to medical marijuana clinics, they bought products, they took it to their facilities, tested it, and found out that 87% did not have what was on the label inside the bottle. Okay, in Orlando, I think it was last year, there was an article about one of Orlando's radio stations went by and just randomly bought CBD at these flea markets, stands that were set up, stores. Don't want to mention any names, but they found out that none of them had, and this is in the Orlando area, none of them had what in the bottle, what was on the label.
Okay, we only got a couple of minutes, and I want to talk about why that's important in sales and marketing, because you're going to want to put your products on the shelves of some of the top retailers. What's the process, and why have people been blocked and why can you get through?
Well, the reason, it's because I've dealt with these companies for 28 years selling them plants. And I know what you've got to have product liability insurance. Like with a plant, for example, if you sell a plant with a ceramic pot and somebody picks it up off the shelf and it drops it on their foot and breaks their foot, it's not the store that gets sued. It's the store gets sued, but they pass it on to you as the cultivator and supplier of that product. And that's the same thing that happens here. You've got to have a very pure product, or they're not going to put it on the shelves because they don't want nor need the liability.
So they test it, they review it, their processes, and you've worked with them on it in the past.
Right. And I know of one major chain right now that has looked at over 30 different CBDs, manufacturers, and they all failed their test.
Why will you pass?
Because in like the state of Florida, for example, with their edibles, there is, and this is in medical marijuana, and it's in most states. There's a 15% variance. You can have a 15% variance with what's in the bottle and on the label. Okay, when I tell that to my scientists, they laugh. And then they laugh and they cry at the same time because they say that's not science. When you're off 15%, that's not science. Our guys strive, and we do produce 99.99% pure product because that's what they were trained to do.
Manny, I really appreciate you being on the show today. The guys are going to you hear them right there. So we're going to kind of wrap up. We've only got a minute to go. Manny, I'm going to call you back after the show. We're going to catch up on all of our open items. I want to remind everybody that this has been Freed on Business. I want to thank the building for holding off on the repairs so I could get most of the show in. I want to give a shout out to all the first responders that are listening, all the healthcare heroes, and all the kids like those that we had on the show today that are struggling to make a difference in our more and more complex and difficult world. I want to thank our sponsors, Warren Henry Automotive, Deep Blocks, Creco AI, Carlson Integrated, and Turkel Brands, the Berkshire Center for Real Estate Studies. And I want to thank you, our listener. Without you, we wouldn't have a reason for podcasting. Please go to our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, every place. I'm everywhere. Like us. Tell your friends. Share our stories. Remember, give us feedback and comments. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, website, Freed on Business gets 600-700 downloads a week. My goodness. If you missed today's show, Reagan will have it up probably in the next couple of hours. Next week, more Silver Knights and probably more Manny. Why? Because I just love doing this. Remember, the person that wants to do something finds a way. The other finds an excuse. Now, go out there and make it happen. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And God bless the state of Florida. Reagan Mendoza, I'm out of here.